Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous episode 144, version 2.0. My name is Rico. I'm here with my co-host,
Dane Cody.
Version 2.0, because we just had a little bit of a blue screen of death issue and had to start over.
Good old technical difficulties.
Windows PC. Yeah. Anyway, welcome everyone. If you've never been here before, we get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. We usually start the show with some What You Been Playing, get into some news, our public service announcements, and of course our free for all section. And yeah, we were shooting a little shit there before the podcast shit the bed. Dane was telling us a nice story about his romantic, beautiful visit to downtown Vancouver, but that story is now lost forever because we're not going to go over it again.
It's in the annals of past podcast history.
But man, it sounded like you had a great time.
It was good.
Check out his Instagram or Facebook or Twitter for photos.
The long and short, I went to Vancouver with the wife. It was nice. I played some video games. We saw a T-Rex. It was dope.
Downtown Vancouver is really nice, though.
Yeah. Plus it snowed, so it's super magical.
Yeah, it's snowing here right now.
Gross.
If it sticks tonight, we might have a disaster out there tomorrow. Because Victoria don't handle the snow so well.
Yeah, it's like Vancouver. They don't handle it well either.
I think we're even worse, though.
Probably, yeah.
We have two plows. And one of the plow drivers is usually drunk, so he doesn't get out there. And yeah, it's just a disaster.
Lovely.
I don't know about that. That's an exaggeration. But man, seriously, nobody knows how to drive in the snow here. So that makes it just a total clusterfuck.
Yep. And the other thing that I love is that nobody seems to buy winter tires.
No,
So
definitely not.
So even though my wife and I have winter tires on our cars, most of the people on the road don't have it on theirs. So
No.
I'm more worried about driving around and having them slam into me because they're fucking idiots for not having winter tires on.
It wouldn't be so bad if we weren't so hilly. Like, we have very hilly roads and curvy roads. We're not just flat grid cities. So that's part of the problem. Like, if we were just, like Edmonton or Calgary or any of the middle provinces in Canada that are just straight up flat, snow wouldn't be a huge issue because like any front wheel drive car could handle it quite easily. But once you get the ups and downs here, it just, people get messed up.
Yeah.
There's a giant hill on the highway by my house, a few blocks away from my house, and we walk the dog down there because there's a little path down there. And last year when it snowed, I just sat there recording guys like sliding all over the hill trying to get up it and crashing into each other and stuff. It was quite fun.
That's always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess let's just get right into it before our computers tempt fate and crash on us again.
Don't say stuff like that, man. Come on.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly.
What you been playing?
Well, like I said, I was away, so I didn't have a ton of time to play stuff, but I did. My wife went to the spa on Saturday, and I brought my Switch with me because I'm a nerd like that.
The Switch is awesome.
Yes, that's also true. And I actually had an opportunity to get in there and finish off my Mario Odyssey. By finish, I mean not get 999 moons, but I essentially beat the single player. I saw credits roll. How's that?
The initial story mode.
Yeah, saw the cool end credits and saw
Act 1.
Yeah, if you will. So yeah, ended back. I won't ruin it, but ended back in the area that you end up at when you finish the game, which was
that's
pretty
a nice
cool.
little surprise.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. So yeah, that was nice. Had a lot of fun there, and fuck, that game's real good. Now it's kind of weird though. Like, I finished it. I've seen the credits. There's a part of my brain that's like, okay, we're good. We can roll on to something else on the Switch now, and but there's the other part of me that is now saying like, okay, well, you need to catch this many more moons to unlock something because there's clearly something else because it says.
Do you remember how many moons you have?
40? I can't remember.
40?
I can't remember.
That sounds way too low.
Really?
Yeah. I think you need it to be in well over 100 to be at the end game.
Yeah. I'm at like 140 something moons.
Okay, you said 40.
I thought I said I thought I was at like, I thought it told me that I had 40 more to get before I could go to wherever it was. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll have to pull it out of my bag and take a look.
You must. Yeah, I think you got to be in the mid 100s to complete to get to the initial ending.
Yeah,
where you take on Bowser and stuff.
How many do you need to get to the next part? Was it 200?
I don't know how many you need for the next part. I can't remember. After that, I'm in the 300s now.
Oh, look at that. I happen to have a Switch right beside me.
My Switch is upstairs, so I cannot tell you, but I know I'm 3 something.
Okay.
I was under 2. I think I was under 200 when I beat it, but I could be totally wrong. Because I beat it last year. And I plug away at it every once in a while.
It says the Odyssey needs 50 more.
Yeah, but that's not your total that you've gotten.
No. That's what I was saying, though. I need however many.
I think that's how many more to open up the next world.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Because there's a couple new worlds after you beat it.
Right.
And you can always go back to the original ones, which are now a little remix because there's a bunch of stuff that's been unlocked in them that you couldn't get before. Like, so
my total right now, it says is 200.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because when I go to another kingdom, it's my total in the top right hand corner. It says 200 right now.
Nice.
So there you go. That's how many I have after beating the story on the initial game.
Just another 799 to go.
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually 999.
No, it sounds like you can. I can't remember how many you can actually get, and then you can buy the remaining however many.
I think I heard there's 8 something. 800 and something.
There's still a lot of moons.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because you go back to the very first stage in the game.
Yep.
And that area has changed. And I swear there's at least 20 or 40 more moons in there that weren't there before.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
At least 20 more in that one.
That's cool because there was
let alone the
next
next couple worlds because I went back and I've totally cleaned out the first and I think second areas.
Okay.
So I'm just going through just cleaning them out one by one.
Right.
And like when we went to Hawaii, I played some on our vacation on the plane and stuff. So that's basically what I save it for now.
That's the one thing that I'm finding that I absolutely love about my Switch and Super Mario Odyssey is it is the best game for taking with me on a trip and just playing when I have kind of the opportunity. It's really nice.
No, it's perfect because it's not like an RPG or Monster Hunter or anything. You don't have to remember where you are because it doesn't matter. You just play where you are at the moment where your save is and you just go and collect the moons. And you just kind of have there's a built-in checklist in the game showing you how many are left in the world, which ones you've collected, and it's just,
so
you just go.
I am in the kingdom that you end up in when you beat the game, and I have caught 9 out of a possible 43. And like I thought I was doing pretty good. Now that I'm looking at this list, I'm like,
there's so many that are just not immediately apparent.
Like,
and then you really got to also, you kind of got to master that jump, throw your hat, dive into your hat move. I don't know if you know what that is or how to do it.
Yep.
But that gets you really high, and there's some areas that you're like, I don't know how to get up there. I must need like a new power up or skill or something. And really, it ends up being you need to do some really crazy jumping.
Yep. Yeah. No, I definitely. I hear that.
Those are some of the hardest moons now. Like, so when you go back to some of the other stages, There'll be a part where you can start a race against some Koopas.
Yep.
And there's 1 star for just winning it the first time, which is usually not too difficult. And then the second time, there's like a golden turtle guy who's like taking like every shortcut imaginable, and that is down to the wire difficult. And I think that's the 1 star or 1 moon I don't have, like on the second world. I'm like, I can't beat this guy. I'm like, I'll come back to it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool.
Yeah, some of the moons get quite, I keep saying bloody stars. Moons get quite challenging.
Stars, moons, whatever. Pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, it was great. It was like, I mean, the game is already awesome, which, I mean, I already knew, but it was just nice to kind of see the credits and kind of feel like, okay, I've not finished the game, but in a way finished the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I never technically played it again, I could at least say that I saw credits and I at least, I beat the story.
You're not going to be upset.
No, exactly. Not that, I was going to be upset anyways, but yeah. So, yeah. But no, outside of that, I didn't really have a chance to play anything else just due to the way the weekend went. So,
yeah, if Zelda isn't your thing and you're a Mario fan, that game totally justifies owning a Switch. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It is like, now that I've kind of played some more of it, I'm like, oh, it's so good. Maybe I should have been a little higher on my list.
Speaking of Switch, Owlboy came out for Switch.
About time.
But that's not where I'm playing it.
Okay.
But because it came out on Switch, and I'm like, oh man, I really should get that. And I'm like, but I own it somewhere else. I have it on PC. Because
you were going to say your Wii U.
No, I have it on PC because it was part of last month's Humble Bundle.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, I'll play it over here. It's got a little bit of hype right now because it came out on Switch. And it's been out for a year or longer on PC, I believe. And I think it more recently came out on the major consoles, and then it just came out on Switch like last week or something.
Right. I thought it was a Wii U exclusive. I thought it was Wii U and PC. That was it. I could have swore, I don't believe it's on any other platform.
Well, I know it was PC. I don't know about Wii U.
I'm almost 100% sure it was out on the Wii U. It was one of their strange exclusives that they came out with. According
to Wikipedia, it's Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, Linux, Xbox One, and Mac.
Huh. All right. Forget I said anything.
You must have it confused with something else.
No, I could have swore that was that one. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, so it is a 16-bit kind of pixel art themed platformer. Not really. It's like a adventure game, side scroller. You are Owlboy named Otis, who's capable of flying and carrying objects. And during flight, you can grab stuff and throw them at enemies. Or it's kind of interesting. I don't know if this changes, but it seems like the main mechanic in the game is that you carry your allies and they have different powers. So
right.
Early in the game, you have your buddy. What's his name? Man, I can't remember his damn name. He's the engineer in your little town, which you start in, and when you carry him around, he has a little pistol, and basically he can shoot enemies in all 8 directions while you fly around, controlling Owlboy. Basically, starts out, you're kind of a disappointment. Your mentor kind of talks down to you because you seem to screw stuff up all the time. Otis is a mute, so he can't speak. At least, I don't know if he eventually will, but right now everyone talks down to him a little bit, except for like a couple friends that he has in town. Mm-hmm. You're just entrusted with guarding the town and being on the lookout for sky pirates. And anyway, your town's kind of like floating in the sky and you get attacked by pirates while you and your buddy are off, kind of screwing around.
Man, I really like the art style in this game.
Yeah, the art
really
style is really cool. It's a great looking game. You kind of got pulled away from town, following some troublemaker, and meanwhile you're exploring these old ruins and chasing this particular character around. When you get out of the caverns, you find out your town's been totally attacked, and some item of power has been like stolen.
Okay,
and it kind of sets you on your way. The pirates have moved on, and your mentor's like, okay, you got to get to this town and warn them, but before you go there, go here and use this item in the owl temple to slow down the pirates. And anyway, it's like I said, it's side scrolling. You can fly.
It's like a little bit of a Metroidvania style, right?
Yeah,
like
it kind of is. But there's no like, you're not really, you jump, you roll, and then you can just essentially, when you jump, you hit your button again and you're flying, and you can fly in any direction.
That's super cool.
And use your, right now I only have the first guy because I've only played like maybe an hour or two. Like I said, your first buddy, you can just fly around with carrying him and he shoots. And some enemies that are metal, his gun is ineffective against. And that's where you can drop your buddy, and then Owlboy can usually go spin attack and knock like their shields off, or grab them and throw something at them and make them vulnerable, so you can use your buddy to shoot them. Right. And there's some puzzles, you have to go stand on a platform while you drop your ally on another platform to open up doorways, and some of that classic kind of puzzle aspects.
Right. Okay, that sounds really cool.
It is a neat game. It looks really cool. I'm enjoying what I've played so far.
I'm just looking at screenshots right now. It's kind of got that like 16-bit aesthetic.
Yeah, it's super.
Actually, it might even be closer to like a 32-bit sort of.
Yeah, it is a little more advanced, but it's got that kind of classic styling to it. Very stylized.
Yeah.
It's a cool game so far. I've played so little of it. It's been out, like I said, for over a year or so now.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't know why.
2016. It's been almost 2 years. So a year and a bit.
It's so weird. I don't know why. I must be thinking of a different game. I swear there was a game that looked just like this that was coming out on the Wii U.
Yeah, I don't know which one that would be. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I decided to play it because, like I said, it was on Switch, and there's a bunch of new hype about it because it was kind of like re-releasing, and Switch has kind of become that indie darling, and I'm like, I don't really need to pay $20-something for it. I'll just get it on. I already have it. I got it.
Fair enough.
Part of last month's bundle.
That's cool, man.
I was obviously using my Xbox One X wireless adapter with the controller to play it with on my PC.
Very nice.
And it's a finished game, which, I was playing lots of Dead Cells before, like I talked about a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with Dead Cells is freaking awesome, but it's not like a finished game. It's still early access, so I'm kind of like, do I really want to invest more time in this when it's not like totally complete?
I know what you mean.
It might have an ending, but I'm like, I'm gonna play a different game that is actually feature and like complete and final. Speaking of which, I got to go back to Subnautica. I was talking to one of my buddies who was playing Subnautica, and it is got a full-on story mode campaign. Like, he beat the game.
Yeah, you can beat the game.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought it was like there was some story driving elements to the survival game, but it's a full-on story mode campaign. In continuing with PC, I know I'd been talking about it a lot.
Yes.
I finally freaking launched Fortnite on my PC.
You did more than just download it?
Yeah, I did more than just download it. I actually launched it, which makes me very curious to see what it's like on console, because they were talking about it being 60 FPS on console, like on one of the next updates, if it hasn't already happened. That game's kind of cool. It's a little cartoony. It is like butter smooth. The shooting is very tight. it doesn't really have the same realistic bullet drop and physics like PUBG. So
right, because it's a little bit. I mean, that aesthetic and everything is a little different than the PUBG style.
Yeah,
though,
it's definitely a little more cartoony. The building is very different. Like, you have a pickaxe, you take down walls in a building, get mats, and you can just start like building ramps and walls and box yourself in like in the middle of a field when you get in trouble. That's
kind of some of the stuff that's the craziest. Like when I've been watching people play it on Twitch and stuff, it's just like all of a sudden somebody will be getting shot at, and the next thing you know, they're just building like a wall around them to make sure that they're not going to get hit, and try to figure out where the guys are, and like it's pretty wild.
I was watching a streamer. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's pretty good at Fortnite. And man, how quickly he could just build like platforms and stairs, and it's like out of nowhere. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. I was like staring at the screen like, how do I build? Okay, this key. If anyone was looking at me, I would have been dead. But It seems pretty intuitive how you can just whip up walls and whatnot. If you get used to it, it's probably just like one button and then start clicking your mouse away, and away you go.
Do you have to get do you have to get materials to be able to build that stuff?
Yeah, you don't start with material. I don't think you start with materials, but I was in a house and there was like a chest I could see through a crack in the wall. Because it's like PUBG and that you get dropped in, free for all. You see everyone like
do you bail out of an
gliding down. You jump out of a party bus.
A party bus in the air.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got got a big hot air balloon on it and a bunch of engines on it.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like bumping music when it's going on, which is kind of funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I was like, I didn't really know. I don't know if there's a tutorial or not. I was just like thrown into it, right? Figure it out. I'm like, hey, I know I can build stuff, but I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Like you've got it shows you the keyboard shortcuts in the corner of the screen above like walls and stairs and stuff like that. But yeah, when you start, you don't have any mats. There's like wood and it looked like brick and something else. There was a couple things, but obviously, yeah, I only played a few times, so I don't totally have it like down pat. But there was a house, the first house I went into, me and another guy ran into, and like, oh, there's a shotgun. I'm going to chase you down and kill you. It was quite easy to shoot him. It felt really tight, and I didn't feel like, sometimes when I play PUBG, I kind of feel like I'm totally out of control. Like more panicky than I should be.
Yeah,
you know, like when you're playing in Destiny, it's like you're popping headshots like super confidently, and it feels just right and perfect. In PUBG, when I shoot people, I just kind of feel like I don't know if it's gonna hit. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I assume I'm going to hit him when I put the cursor here, and it's like, hey, I'm not hitting him because he's too far. My bullets are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes I just kind of feel like I have a gun, but I don't know what it's doing because it's just all over the place. Whereas Fortnite kind of felt more like, hey, I've got my cursor on him. I'm shooting him. You know?
Yeah.
Very responsive. Like, just, I don't think there's any real trajectory or bullet, like, flight influence of any sorts.
I've been hearing that they're going to be tweaking some of that stuff. I don't know to which degree. I mean, I'm
sure a little bit of it, so you can't get sniped from super far away, is handy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume that's not going to really affect the close to mid game, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you don't want cursor accurate sniper rifle from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meters away, because that's not any fun.
No, that sucks.
Because then you just feel like you're playing Battlefield and getting sniped as soon as you walk into open space. But yeah, so I killed this. We got in this house, picked up a shotgun, killed this guy. Felt good. I'm like, oh, that's cool. All stuff he picked up popped out of him, kind of like a loot pinata. And as I was, it's very colorful.
Awesome.
It has like, it does the RPG like color grading for items.
Okay,
you know, you
so
got
you kind of have
blues,
a better idea
greens,
of whether or not
purples,
stuff's good.
and there's like even oranges for like I guess they call it legendaries.
Epic.
So I was in this house exploring after I killed this guy because there was no one else around. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get my bearings here. And up in the attic of this house, there was like just like a crack in a wall, and I could see like a glowing treasure chest. I'm like, oh, cool. But there's no door in there. And I'm like, oh, I got a pickaxe. Let's see what happens when I do pickaxe. I just start tearing the walls down in this house. And then I'm getting mats from doing that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the chests are spread around the world, and that's just another way of getting other, I guess, probably higher quality random loot compared to just the random shit on the ground.
Right.
And I found a couple chests, so I don't know how frequent they are, but I found at least a couple. And then I was geared up, had some guns, had some healing items. I even had a shield, but I didn't really know how it worked.
Right.
It was like a power up of some sorts. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to go this way because the circle's closing. As I'm going, I hear some weird, I think it may have been a siren or something. And then I notice, hey, well, there's a crate dropping by me. And there's like smoke on the ground where the crate was dropping. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just build some walls around here and just chill here till it hits the ground, and I'm going to get whatever's in there.
That's pretty sweet.
Which is kind of funny because I got a rocket launcher, and then I also got a bush.
A bush?
Yeah, it's like...
It's like Metal Gear Solid style, where you can like use the bush to like traipse around and hide in it?
It's like a camouflage, you know, not quite like a ghillie suit, but like basically I was like wearing a bush, moving around in a bush, just like bouncing around the map, and you just see this moving bush. And
so you look like one of those cartoon characters where you pick up the bush and do.
Yeah. Total cartoon character. It was pretty hilarious. So I'm like stalking this guy that I saw in this like trailer park or motel he was exploring around, and I was just like moving around as a bush, like
That's so funny.
Getting closer and closer and closer to him. And then he like comes out and he's just like back to me, and I'm just like blah, and he probably killed me. But it was pretty freaking hilarious. You
use your rocket launcher on him?
I missed. That's why. So I missed, and then I tried switching guns, and he was like hopping around, and he just unloaded on me. But yeah, it was still pretty funny. I had a lot of fun, and then I played another game, and yeah, that game was not good. I think I dropped into the middle of like 3 like Fortnite pros because we were in this basically farm area, and then all of a sudden these guys are building stairs up into the sky, and I'm like, what is going on? And I like just couldn't do anything, and I'm on the ground, and they were fighting each other, and I was trying to take pot shots at one of them while they were fighting, and then once they were done,
they turned their attention to you.
The one survivor realized I was there, and he's like, oh, here's this sucker over here. And yeah, that didn't go well. I tried.
That's too bad.
I could
Sounds
see
like
why
you had fun, though.
I did have fun, and I will play more. I can see why this game is taking off.
The surpassing
price of
PUBG is the most concurrent amount of people playing.
Yeah, the price of entry is just right, and
free.
Yeah, and it actually is like a decent game.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be janky and just really loose and not tight controlling like it ended up being, and yeah, I was totally surprised. It's
come on, man, it's epic. Those guys know how to make some good shit.
They do, but man, I just remember when this game was announced like years ago, and it was just like I don't know.
That's still a different thing, right? I mean, you can still go play like proper Fortnite. I feel like there's got to have a different name for it at this point, but Fortnite Survival, or I don't know. Anyways, like you can still go play that game if you want. I don't know how many people are playing it now since they've done the whole Battle Royale thing, because I think pretty much everybody's playing that one. Yeah. But yeah. So that's cool. Though.
It's a cool game. I liked it. And then I also played the Assassin's Creed Discovery Tour, which just came out the other day.
Right. That's the tour around Egypt where you don't actually, like, there's no
enemies,
no weapons, just like you're pretty much just like wandering. They're guided, right? Like guided tours?
a 5 gig download, at least on Xbox One it was.
Wow.
And basically it drops you in and immediately starts you out kind of like a tutorial showing you, just walk up to this icon to start our tour. And then once you start a tour, it opens up with Alexandria.
Okay.
And they're talking about the history of, why it was built there at the head of the Nile. It was strategic, and the type of, architecture you'd find there, and then who was responsible for this and that, and then did all kinds of stuff. It was built on a waterway, so they can get stuff in and out very quickly, good access to the Nile. And there's these like golden icons and kind of like a gold trail that weaves through the tour that I was on. And it was kind of like an introduction to Alexandria. And it would have a narrator talking about stuff and showing either like some art or a vantage point that you could control the camera and look around. And meanwhile, getting like those kind of museum style documentary voiceovers talking about the point of interest that you're at.
Right.
And then when it's done, you move on to the next one, and you just keep getting more information, just like you were on a private tour.
That's really cool.
And yeah, it was pretty cool. There's that, and there's achievements, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so I assume there's trophies too.
Wow.
I got a couple I think I did like 3 tours. I did the initial one, and then you could just go on the map, and you can essentially fast travel to any of the tours. I think there's like over 70 of them.
Huh. Wow.
And
70 tours? That's crazy.
And they range from like 3 or 5 minutes to like 20, 25 minutes. So I did like 3 short ones. It was late last night, and I don't know, I was like not in the mood to play any games, and like, I'll just check this out because I'm pretty bagged right now.
Right.
And I did another one that was like in a Roman fort, and it was talking about, fort design and, the whole system in their forts, that they had like bathrooms and like plumbing, even like water and stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, no wonder these guys were like on the up and up and pretty powerful force to be reckoned with, because they were taking care of their soldiers. They weren't in shit conditions. So, if your guys are in better condition and health than your enemy, they're going to do a lot better, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was quite
Big
common.
help.
Yeah,
Big
it was quite
help.
common that they had like they even had like food and farming and supplies and stuff within their forts. So they could withstand like sieges or long battles with enemies, because they had everything.
Yeah.
They were kind of self-sufficient little mini cities almost.
Super good.
Yeah, it was neat. It's a really cool thing, and I really hope more games kind of do it. Obviously, it's a butt ton of work to do it.
Well, I mean, I think this is a really neat way for them to be able to. I mean, they put so much work into that game, that universe, and reproducing those areas. So, I mean, I think it's a really neat way for them to. Yeah, exactly.
Like they did, like building Egypt, they went through all this historical stuff, like,
totally
to be accurate and represent the time with, respect and authenticity, that they're working with these people to know this information. So it's kind of like, well, why don't we just share this with everyone? Because we spent the time and put in the effort to learn all this stuff ourselves. And it's it's all historically accurate. So people are going to find interest in this. So it's really cool. I think I think it's an amazing like freebie.
I think that I'm going to show this to my wife, and she's going to like lose her mind and get me all those trophies.
It's kind of like having like a private Discovery Channel tour, but in the world of a video game you just played.
And you're like kind of wandering around controlling the character, right?
Yeah.
Can you still like climb buildings and stuff? Or?
Yeah, you can climb and do all that stuff. You can jump on your horse. You can freely go.
Neat.
You can freely go anywhere, and you can even change your avatar.
Oh, really?
So it has you as I don't know if it's randomized, but it has you as Bayek's wife.
Oh,
I can't remember her name for some dumb reason.
Ugh,
but yeah, you can be anyone. You could go. You could roll around as Caesar, or Cleopatra. Like
that's
any of
funny.
any of the in-game models, you can essentially use as your avatar.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
So you could be the kids from the story. You could be Reda, Bayek's son.
Right.
Yeah, you can essentially be any, not any, but almost any model in the game, especially any of the story mode characters.
Right.
Actually, and even before I did that, I did do the Challenge of the Gods are up again. All 3 of them are up at once right now.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I was kind of like, I didn't get the armor set, and I was like kind of thinking like, what's going on? I'm like, I beat all 3, and I didn't get the armor set, and and it didn't pop, so I thought it was kind of weird. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll try doing them again to see maybe you have to do them again.
Right.
So I just randomly started with one of the bosses. I want to say maybe it was Sobek, and I beat them, and then I got another item, and I got the Anubis armor set, which is
nice,
pretty cool looking because it's like Anubis, and you're on fire.
Oh, dude,
and then I'm like,
dope.
I'm like, I wonder if there's more. So I continued on and I beat the other 2, but I got nothing for beating the other 2. So maybe I think you just have to beat all 3, and then whatever 4th one you beat, you unlock the armor set and the last piece of gear. So I think there's a bow, a sword, 2 shields. I don't know. One of the shields might have been from the community challenge. I can't tell.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think there was a staff as well. But anyway, I could be wrong.
Huh.
But I think I did that now properly, so because I got that armor set. And then also on the menu, it's like New Game Plus. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I don't have enough time for that.
I still gotta... I'm trying to play other things, but the pull to go back there and play the expansion is definitely strong with me.
Yeah, I've been tempted to buy the expansion.
I mean, it's so far from what I've seen, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it is definitely more of that game, which
is a good game.
If you love that game, that's pretty awesome. So
yeah,
and in my case, I liked it a lot, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So,
with that being said, I think we can move into some news.
What do you got for me this week, yo?
This week in our cross-platform, aka PC and everything,
yes.
Ubisoft announced a couple new operators. I personally don't really care about the new operators. More, I wanted to talk about they had a big giant event this past weekend, which was pretty well received from an esports aspect. And beyond these new operators, Ubisoft was talking about the future of Siege, and that I want to say I heard somewhere they were talking about it being like a 10-year roadmap. Something like that. But like just more so the story of how this game just totally has turned around from like meh to like everyone's loving it, and it's huge on like the streaming / esports scene right now.
Well, and they just released this whole new Operation Chimera,
yeah,
which is starting on March 6th and going for, I think it's a month. I can't remember. It's a timed thing, and it's a whole. There's been a virus, and it's turning people essentially into like zombie type things, and like it looks interesting. It looks really, really interesting. They've also announced as well that if you're gonna get into the game, they are making all of the original 8 operators from season 1 available when you purchase the game. So there's multiple ways that you can purchase the game. There's like a very much a base version. I believe it's only like $14, and I think it only allows you to unlock 1 operator for free. But if you buy the starter pack, which I think, oh man, I don't have the numbers up in front of me right now, but I believe it's $30. At least I'm quoting Canadian prices. It's $30, I believe, for the starter pack, and then it's a full $60 for, I guess it's like the deluxe pack. And the starter pack, starting now, the starter and the deluxe both come with the original, I think it's 8 operators. So you get those unlocked right off the bat, which is pretty huge, because before you essentially got to pick one operator, and then after that you had to unlock all of them, either by playing in-game and getting in-game currency, or by buying them outright. And if you bought the season's passes, then how it worked was that you got that season's operators were automatically unlocked for you when that season was released. So like in my case, I bought, I guess it would be the season 1 DLC. So I got the Canadian operators unlocked for me for free. Well, not for free. They were unlocked because I purchased the season's pass. And then there was the season 2 operator, and this is, I think, going to be their year 3. But this is just the first release, so I don't know how many more operators they're planning on releasing in year 3. But it's really cool. I'm glad that they're releasing more operators from the beginning like that, because otherwise, man, that can be a bit of a grind initially to try and get enough currency and stuff to unlock more operators. So giving you those initial 8, I think, is a really smart choice. So they seem like they're listening to their people that are playing that game and doing good things. So, yeah.
$19.49 for the starter edition.
Is it the starter edition? Okay, yeah.
On PC.
Right. And I know there's, like I said, then there's the one above that, and I think there's one above that, which has a whole bunch of other crap, so
it unlocks instant access to 2 operators from...
Oh, okay, yeah.
From Rook, Sledge, Ash, Fuse, Mute, and Smoke.
Yeah, those are the original ones. Those are the first set of operators that the game launched with. 600
Rainbow Six credits to unlock up to 2 additional operators, which are a $5 value. Right. I assume 12,500 renown credits to unlock the rest of the original 20 operators. Approximately 15 hours of gameplay per operator. Ugh.
Yep.
That seems like a lot of work. I assume
that's
you
what I was
just
saying. You can straight buy in-game credits and do it.
Yeah. But I guess for $20 to see if you really like the game.
Yeah.
You own it.
I do. I owned it from the beginning.
And you like it.
I have. I want to get back and play it. I've actually installed it. I haven't had a chance to actually play more of it, but it is literally sitting on my desktop right now.
That game has evolved quite a bit, which is very impressive. I'm just really impressed with how Ubisoft takes a game that,
most companies would have canceled after it came out.
Well, not even. It came out and it was well received, but it didn't set the world on fire. It was, not like a bomb or a dud, but it just kind of launched and it was like, hey, well, there's Siege, and it's like, well, this isn't the game we really wanted, and a lot of people were just like not super keen on it, but then it has evolved into this game that everyone's crazy for, especially like in that competitive shooter scene.
Oh,
which is awesome.
I know. I can't believe the amount of people that over the last while. It's like, it seems like every time I turn on my Twitter,
it's like 3 years later, it's like got like a whole renewed life. That's the crazy thing with these games as a service that evolve. It's like that's the cool thing. It's like, whereas games is just like, this game's meh. Well, one day it could be like, yeah, this game is a shit and everyone's playing it.
Right.
And that's so cool that can happen now, that the game isn't just DOA when it ships. It can evolve and totally become something different and better. And this is like a perfect example of like a 3-year-old game that's still going. It's way more successful than when it launched. And yeah, anyway, I don't own it, but I'm very intrigued to check it out, seeing the successes it's been having.
Yeah, it's like I said,
it's the support and added content.
Yeah, I'm just kind of amazed with it. When it first came out, I played it a bit at the beginning, and I went like, "Oh, this is really cool. It does a lot of things that I wanted out of Rainbow Six, but it also is missing a lot of things that I wanted from Rainbow Six." I don't know how much longer I'll play it, and I kind of fell off. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months after release, and it kind of looked like that was the way that the game was kind of going for a lot of people. And then now here we are 3 years later, and it's bigger than it's ever been, and I'm reinstalling it because so many people are playing it again, going like, holy shit, like, you need to play this, it's great. They've done so much to it, they've released so much more content, and that's cool. That's a really, really cool thing. Video games, man, they can be weird.
Yeah.
So,
this story is specifically for you because I know how much you love Barbie dolls.
hey man, I like Barbie dolls that look like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, there's a Tomb Raider Barbie doll. I think it's on sale now, $29.99. Anyway, I kind of mentioned this just because there was a new Tomb Raider trailer that was at the start of
Black Panther.
And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a new Tomb Raider coming out. I totally forgot about it.
Comes out March 16th.
I know, that's crazy. Like, I totally forgot about it. Looks okay. I don't know if I'm going to run out and see it.
I'll probably see it in the theater. My wife has already seen trailers for it and has been very excited to see it. So.
Yeah.
She never even played any of the Tomb Raider games. But guess what? She watched the old Tomb Raider movies and liked them a lot. So
there you
go.
I'm not really into Barbie doll collecting. I am one for figures and toys and collectibles, but
you do have a little girl, though.
Yeah, I could get her a Tomb Raider figure, a very powerful female icon.
There you go.
Just pretend it's for her and end up playing with it. I'm Laura Croft. I'm raiding tombs. I mean, here, Adeline, here's your doll. Speaking of toys, Hasbro announced a crowdfunding platform.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what's it called here?
HasLab.
Yeah, HasLab. They are looking to build a collector, high detail version of Jabba's sail barge, weighing in at 14 pounds.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So Hasbro's creating a crowdfunding platform that is similar to Kickstarter for cool toys.
Yeah, for stuff that would be a little excessive for like the toy market.
HasLab hopes to bring dream products into the hands of fans with new models that are trophy items in significance and size. And the first of these, like you said, is Jabba's sail barge. The thing weighs in at 14 pounds. It's huge.
Yeah, what does it say?
It'll cost $500 to back the project.
4 feet long, 14 pounds, and it'll cost you $500 to back the project, which gets you the barge. And they're saying they need a minimum of 5,000 backers to make this a reality. I will say.
The set is part of the Vintage Collection and will accommodate 3.75-inch figures, including Jabba himself in its bowels.
I will say that this is kind of cool. The photos look cool for the very distinguished collector that might be into something like this. I think it's...
When they release some Transformers shit, I know some people, you, and some other people...
Yeah, there's some dream products that they potentially could do down the road that I'd be all over. I don't really care for the Star Wars, but man, this thing looks pretty rad. If I was into Star Wars, I'd be all over it. It is kind of weird because Hasbro is a huge company that could afford to make this, but I guess they've done the math and it's like, hey, if we get 5,000 people to back this, then it's a win-win situation. We don't lose any money. The fans get this really cool limited edition thing that they want, and then no one's on the hook if they were to like send this to Toys R Us and it
Yeah, it just sat on a shelf and
sit on a shelf,
and there's
gets
no way that parents or whoever would be like, I'm not paying $500 for that. Forget that noise.
It ends up getting discounted, and Hasbro loses money, and then they're like, "Hey, well, we're never doing that again."
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a neat idea for sure.
So it definitely could make some really cool frickin' toys get into the hands of collectors. Which, I'm sure if they hit their goal, that this will be like one of those things that's going to be super limited and/or.
Well, hey, there's only going to be 5,000 of them, right?
What if you can find out how?
Just go to HasLab's, Hasbro.com/HasLab.
Okay, they're at 1,665 of 5,000 goal. So, I guess a little over a quarter of the way there with 40 days to go.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
If fully funded, you could expect to get yours in the mail in February of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'm looking.
That's a cool idea. I'm also not big into the Star Wars toys, but man, if they release a few of the other ones,
I wonder what
properties
for like
they
Transformers. It would have to be like the Autobot headquarters or something like that, or something to do with Cybertron, like a big playset. That'd be pretty freaking rad.
There's so many things they can do.
Oh god, yeah, there's so many things they can do.
Let's be honest, there's lots.
Assassin's Creed and adds New Game Plus. I kind of talked about that. What's the secret reward? Oh, there's a new secret reward at the end of New Game Plus.
Yeah, after plowing through the New Game Plus mode story.
Spoilers! Someone might not want to. Someone might not want to know what it is.
I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
There's something. There's a little something if you go play through it again.
Yeah, I don't care. So I looked at the link.
So did I.
I don't know if that's worth playing through. Well, the game is awesome, but I don't think that would be the reason why you do New Game Plus. The cool thing about the New Game Plus is you keep your levels, you keep all your gear and tools and unlocks. So, and the enemies are harder, so it kicks it up to the next level of difficulty depending on what your last save was.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool to start with all your amazing weapons.
That would be pretty sweet. Oh, the map is also fogged, so you have to rediscover it all over again.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Burnout Paradise is real and coming to Xbox One and PS4 next month.
Take me down to the Paradise City.
We talked about this a while ago because it was rumored. So, and it was rumored for March even. So, wow, that was a pretty spot on rumor, aka leak, aka legit story.
So, you gonna pick this up?
Coming to Xbox One, PS4 on March 16th, 4K 60 FPS on the Pro and the Xbox One X.
Burnout Paradise Remastered.
I don't know.
All of the original stuff, plus the stuff like high resolution textures. I mean, that game was real good. I just wonder, is it awesome because it's in my brain when it first came out on the PlayStation 3? Or is it still awesome? Like, if I was to play it now, would it still be as awesome as it was then?
I feel like this game's on backwards compat on the Xbox One.
It is.
I'll have to check it out. So I own it there.
On the 360 version.
So I might not. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I'm kind of on the fence. There's a part of me that really wants to play this again.
I kind of sunk a lot of time into this game.
Exactly, on the PS3.
And then we have Sea of Thieves coming out next month. What else is coming out in March? Well, God of War was, but then it kicked back into April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of just depends what's going on. That's a couple weeks from now. I'm probably still going to be head deep in monster hunting. Cool. We'll just have to wait and see if we pick it up.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like remasters. If you missed it, it's a dope game. This next story I just wanted to bring up because it's just an example of don't be a douchebag online when you conduct your livelihood using someone else's platform. Some asshat. I'm not even going to say his name because he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He's another one of these skin gambling streamers who is like, oh man, I'm going to gamble on Counter-Strike Ghost Skin. Oh my God, I won. And didn't disclose the fact that it was his site. And he rigged the results of him winning. So this guy's just a human piece of shit. So, as far as I'm concerned, but the story here is that he got banned from Twitch.
Twitch kicked him off their
2
platform.
years ago. They just kicked him off. They killed his account, and they're just, yep, nope, sorry, you violated Valve stuff. Some of those other
terms of service, all that good stuff.
Which is kind of interesting because I don't think they did this to those other douchebags, and they were doing the exact same thing. But I think those guys were.
He was one of them, wasn't he?
No, this isn't one of. This is a different guy.
Okay,
that was a T. Martin and Syndicate or something. Anyway, I think those guys might be YouTubers and not Twitch, but I think they're on Twitch too. So it's kind of weird that they didn't get banned and this guy got banned. So anyway, 2 years ago, and he's filed a lawsuit against Twitch because of lost wages and them killing his account, and that like he's unable to make an income and all this other nonsense. And he's trying to sue Twitch. I don't know all the ins and outs of the story, but I have no sympathy for this guy. You violated multiple terms of service, and you're doing something on someone else's platform. This is the main message here. The adpocalypse, YouTube demonetization stuff. If your income comes from someone else's platform, be prepared for that rug to get pulled out from underneath you at any freaking moment. As what they want and what they like and what they stand for will change at any given second, and you have no recourse. So
this is interesting. In this particular case, the lawsuit which he's filed claims that he was banned in an improper manner and perhaps should not have been banned at all. He's saying he did not violate the site's terms of service.
Yeah, he said he talked to them and they said he could do stuff, but not to do it for longer than certain times. And that
was his manager. That was a different thing.
Oh, okay.
It's citing Lewis. They're saying that the person who wrote the expose on him was wrong. And he's saying that because that person was wrong and that he was not involved with this whole skin site shuffle thing, that there was no good reason to ban him. I mean, ultimately, I want to say that at the end of the day, I would think personally that this comes down to the fact that Twitch owns the site and they say what can or doesn't go on their service, and I feel like there's not much that he's going to be able to do as far as them going like, we can get rid of you because we want to, end of discussion.
Yeah,
you signed our terms of service initially and that was that. And I'm sure if I was to go to their terms of service, I'm sure that at some point in there it says that we could pretty much get rid of you for whatever the hell reason we want because we own it and you're you, and that's that. I mean, most services, I can't think of any that don't.
No, I think every online service basically says in the small print they basically own whatever you produce and put on their site, and they have final say on your account and can terminate at any time for any reason they see fit. Whether he's legit or not or whatnot, I don't know.
Because the thing is even if he's unbanned, CSGO skin gambling still violates Valve's terms of service. So, like, yeah, the whole thing is just, yeah, I don't know.
The moral of the story is don't be a douche. And if you are planning to become an internet influencer, aka /celebrity, and go down that path, maybe look at merch and Patreon and other streams for more reliable income, because YouTube and Twitch can blow up at any moment for anyone. You just have to do one video that gets the wrong amount of attention, and that's it for a paycheck. You're done.
Yeah.
And it gets riskier and riskier every day because being a normal streamer kind of just doesn't cut it anymore. You got to push the envelope of doing different shit and that risks your account at any moment.
Yeah.
You know, if you're saying or doing stuff that's cool today and isn't cool tomorrow, you know, it's like, well, bye-bye account, bye-bye ads and monetization. And that's the huge risk you take. You know, very lucrative when the going's good, but man, you better be saving for a rainy day in case your card gets pulled because they just don't like what you said or did on that odd day.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's somebody else's platform, and at the end of the day, they can kind of do whatever they want.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of an interesting news that I kind of came across, and I don't see it on ours. Call of Duty World War II Directors Leave Sledgehammer.
Yeah, I saw that. I missed that story and forgot to post it somewhere.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're leaving Sledgehammer, but they're moving over to Activision. So they're kind of leaving, but kind of not. So Glenn Schofield and Michael Condrey have decided to transition their duties at Sledgehammer to a new executive duties inside Activision. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if like Activision's like, man, you guys did a great job. We got these positions for you over here. You'd be a great fit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, you know, I'm kind of wanting to get out of the development game. And
is that maybe just kind of going to oversee the multiple studios Call of Duty vision, I guess?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That must be what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says that, I mean, we thank them for their tremendous body of work on Call of Duty and look forward to continuing to collaborate with them in their new roles. They don't really specifically say what these roles are. These changes have created an opportunity to elevate one of the key leaders at the studio, Aaron Hallen, to lead Sledgehammer Games. Aaron is a founding member of Sledgehammer and the natural fit to lead the team. He's got over 20 years, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they didn't really get into what their new thing is. So, yeah, it's interesting.
My guess is what I said.
That to me makes a lot of sense. I could definitely see something
because obviously they're
happening.
Close to the Call of Duty franchise, so they would be a pretty decent set of hands overseeing what's going on with, you know, the multiple teams making the yearly iterations of Call of Duty. And World War II did really well, right? Like, was it not
really well.
One of the biggest selling Call of Duties in a while when it was kind of like on a downward trajectory? Yeah. Not by much, still super successful, but it kind of seemed like Call of Duty's peaked a little bit, right?
Yep. These are the same guys. I didn't realize they were the guys that were the lead developers on Dead Space for Visceral Games.
Why can't I see this stupid story on my feed? It's kind of weird. Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess we will see more in time. Yeah.
Very, very curious to see sort of what that whole Call of Duty thing looks like. So, in the future, I mean. Like, what is this year's Call of Duty going to look like? Do they still want more World War II? It'd be interesting. I feel like Call of Duty is a weird one where they've got so many people that really only play Madden and Call of Duty that they need to release a Call of Duty game every year. But at the same time, I think so many people, I mean, myself included, like this was the first Call of Duty that I haven't ever purchased. I don't know. To me, didn't jump out at me. It wasn't kind of what I wanted out of a Call of Duty game at this point. And yeah, I don't know. Personally, I would love it if they decided to take some time off and like rethink Call of Duty, but I think it's too big at this point for them to do that. So yeah, be curious over time what will happen with that franchise.
Yeah, we'll find out.
So, but it's kind of neat news.
Nintendo. Moving on to Nintendo news. Doom on Nintendo Switch was updated with motion controls. Because
you know what nobody wanted? Motion controls in Doom.
Some people are pretty excited. It's kind of
Those people are wrong.
They are Nintendo fans. They're not wrong.
End of discussion. They're wrong.
So it's got controls similar.
This is the wrong way to play this game.
It's got controls similar to how Splatoon controls, which, if you get used to it, is very effective for aiming and shooting.
Yeah, I want to wave my Switch around in the air.
Nothing wrong with that. No, you could have a Pro Controller or... Anyway. It's just cool that they're still supporting the system.
I hate motion controls.
Yes.
They're all bad.
You stated that. I just think it's cool that Bethesda's still supporting the system.
Stop wasting time with that and bring out other cool stuff.
Yeah, the thing that's kind of weird is that, well, not weird. I don't know. I played Doom on PC, and that was, in my opinion, the place to play it.
Absolutely.
Because that game was freaking awesome, and I believe it was in our top 5 of the year it came out.
Oh, yes.
Well, at least it's a decent port, and people like it. And I don't know what I did to our outline, but the page did something weird.
What did you do?
I don't know. Anyway, moving along.
Shit. God damn it.
Nintendo specific YouTubers are in a state of anxiety right now because of new monetization rules. Hey, look at that. Wasn't I just talking about what happens when you base your income on someone else's platform?
Oh, man.
YouTube has been in a huge changeover because of their partner program. A lot of smaller channels recently have basically lost monetization because they just don't have the viewers, the subscribers, or the hours. So essentially, it could take you a really long time to just get your foot in the door to make a few bucks.
Well, yeah, because the new change is that in order to be a Nintendo creator program, to be in the Nintendo's creator program, you also must be in the YouTube partner program. So if you don't meet that criteria, you will be dropped from Nintendo's creator program.
Mm-hmm.
So that's because it's not easy now to be a freaking YouTube partner. You have to have creators must now have accrued more than 4,000 hours of watch time in the past year and maintain at least 1,000 subscribers. That's a big departure from their previous threshold, which required you to have a total of 10,000 hours of watch time under their belt before they could join the partner program.
Yeah, it was a lot easier, that's for sure. Our YouTube page is partnered. We have over 2,800 subscribers on YouTube.
Fantastic. We love you guys.
We have
coming.
Over 2.5 million views. I think one video in particular is a playthrough of me poorly playing Smash Brothers, has something like 2 million views.
Get this too. Smash Brothers for the Wii U.
Yeah, for the Wii U.
Yeah.
I think basically that one video just keeps us monetized because I can't get into... Where's our analytics? They're ridiculous. How many hours... how many hours are watched on our channel? It's ridiculous. It's tens of thousands.
Really?
A month.
Wow.
Man, where the hell is it? I don't know how to use YouTube, apparently.
And this is why we have not been putting out any YouTube content recently.
Our podcast goes on there.
I know.
Okay, no, I'm on my channel. Sorry, this doesn't make for very compelling radio right now.
Come on, Rick. Get your shit together.
They've really changed this stuff up a bunch. It's kind of
so anyways, so the reality of it is that if you're a Nintendo YouTube partner and you don't have a bunch of people watching you and subscribing to you, you may be not in the best of positions right now. But I would think that if you're in that position, you're probably not making a living off of that. So while disappointing, probably not life-changing.
Yeah.
So
our just to give you an idea, in the last 30 days, our watch time was 114,000 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, don't ask me where that comes from. So that is well above the 10,000 over a year. So
yeah.
And that's like up and down. We had 35,000 views across all our content in the last month. 118 likes. Our estimated revenue, $18.
Woohoo!
Average view duration, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. But yeah, so we're quite lucky in that literally one video keeps our channel monetized.
For that whole $18, yeah.
Yeah, for that whole $18. It's
amazing.
Yeah, $18 a month. We're killing it.
Man,
It almost pays for
like ready to retire. Like,
it almost pays for our podcast hosting fees. Almost. So it actually cost me to record this podcast. So everyone be thankful.
yes.
But yeah, but before, with the new criteria, our channel would be fine. But to get here, we
also would need to become YouTube partners.
Pardon?
We would also need to become YouTube partners as well as Nintendo creator partners.
Oh, we could become Nintendo. I don't want to become a Nintendo creator partner. They can suck an egg. That program's terrible.
Oh, it's so bad.
They have to pre-approve your videos. It's like, no, it's good. I don't need you. I don't need to be a Nintendo partner.
Yeah.
But anyway, I luckily lucked out and got our channel partnered quite easily back in the day because we had some PAX videos from when I first did the YouTube channel a few years ago that managed to get like tens of thousands of views, and they get partnered years ago. Basically, all you needed was a video with 10,000 views.
Right.
So once a video hit 10,000 views, you could apply, and of course I applied, and boom, we were partnered. The sad thing that really upset me is that before we were partnered, like one of our videos from one of the Gearbox panels happened to do like a couple 100,000 views. And because we weren't partnered, we just basically got that would have made me like $600. Because we weren't partnered, it's just like, no, you're partnered now, but that video's just dropped off. I'm like, right. God damn it. And like, thanks. So yeah, if you ever get like some memeable or like viral amazing video, make sure you share it to a friend that has a partnered YouTube channel. That way you can get buku cash, because if it's going to be one of these multi-million viewed videos, just a free tip, give it to a friend with a partnered channel. Because if
even then, the way that monetization has changed in the last few months, even that has changed a lot.
Yeah, so. But like if you just put it up on YouTube, you're going to get nothing. You can monetize it after the fact, and potentially if it gets viewed, if the views keep going and it isn't just like a flash in the pan hit, you could potentially still make some money, but you probably miss out on the majority of your money making opportunity. So just a little tip.
There you go.
Anyway.
Those people out there trying to make the mad YouTube cash.
Yep, that internet money. Moving on to PlayStation news. Rick and Morty, Virtual Reality, is out April 10th for PlayStation VR. There's a collector's edition. This has been out on Vive and Oculus, I think, for maybe about a year now. Maybe not. I don't know. It was cool. We played it at one PAX. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a Vive or an Oculus, so
no, me neither.
I might have to pick this up on PlayStation VR because I liked what I played.
Yeah, it seemed fun on PSVR when we played it. I'm glad that it's coming to PSVR.
Yeah,
that's neat.
They announced it last year. I think they announced it. Was it at PSX or before that?
It might have been. Oh, look at that! If you buy the collector's edition, it includes a Funko Pop Rick.
Yeah, Funko Pop me. Yeah,
could not give less shits.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
About Funko Pops. Sorry.
I saw the first Funko Pops I potentially may want to buy.
Oh no!
And it's because they don't look like Funko Pops, but I almost don't want to bring them in my house because they might like make me like might poison my mind and make me want to get more, but the Cuphead Funko Pops look pretty rad.
I do also want to point out, I know that this is not quite in our PSA section, but while we're on the topic of PSVR, I do want to point out that for starting February 18th, going till March 3rd, all PlayStation VR bundles and headsets are starting at $200.
Yeah, they're on the Black Friday sale prices again.
Yeah, so just FYI, that's American, so add an extra there, so there's going to be $300 Canadian, but little FYI for anybody out there who's kind of been on the fence, like, oh, maybe I get a PSVR, maybe I won't, whatever. Just know that they're currently $100 off. So
yeah, and remember,
pretty cool.
And even more importantly, remember that the updated headset is the Skyrim version and the Doom VFR version. That Gran Turismo version is the old headset.
There you go.
So if you're going to get one, I would suggest getting the updated one. 4K HDR pass-through.
Yeah.
And other little nice upgrades like the headsets.
Niceties. Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation VR, we got a launch date for Moss. It's coming out next week, February 27th. That was that cute little adventure game with the mouse that I talked about a few weeks ago. That's on the most recent demo disc for PSVR. That game seemed pretty cool.
It looks neat.
Mm-hmm.
Showing Quill on her incredible journey.
It does look cool. I liked what I played from the demo.
Yeah.
And then also PlayStation News. They introduced My PlayStation.
Their own social network.
It's a new web portal where you can manage like everything to do with your PlayStation account, find friends, edit your profile, view trophies, send and manage friend requests, send messages. And it's supposed to be pretty good because
they're calling it My PlayStation, by the way.
The app is not that great for doing some of this stuff. So now they have
I hate. I may have talked about this, and if I did, I apologize. But why the hell do they have to break out everything into their own separate apps?
I don't know. It's Sony.
Like they split the messaging into their own separate app. So now, if I want to send PlayStation messages through my phone, I have to download the PlayStation messaging app. Whereas before, I would just use the PlayStation app for all of that crap. Why on earth do they need to like this? To me, seems like okay, so they've revamped the app. That's cool. Now it's called My PlayStation. I like it. Fair enough. I mean, I could do all of this already just by logging into my account on the PlayStation website. But if this is better and cooler and it looks like they're pulling some of the social media type things into this as well. You could look at your friends' trophies and send and manage requests, as well as, hey, look at that, send messages. If they roll all of that up into one app again and release that, which they're not, because this is, if they do that, then I'm all for this app. If they're going to keep this whole split app and rolling out their messaging app into a separate thing, then why? Why do they do that?
I don't know. I wish the app was better. It leaves a lot to be desired. Man, you have more platinums than me. Oh, yeah, that's right. Your wife farmed these for you. It's all Skylanders.
Yeah. She put a lot of work into those.
Are they are all your platforms Skylanders? Platinums, sorry?
Maybe.
I see 4 out of the 5 so far.
I think they're all Skylanders. I think they're 5 Platinums, 5 Skylanders games.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my. I think one of mine's Resident Evil 5, which I'm not necessarily proud of. And then one's Assassin's Creed 2, and then I think the other is The Walking Dead Season 1.
Fair enough.
Moving along, Xbox news. PUBG will be free with new Xbox One X purchases again.
Oh.
Thanks, Microsoft. for not giving me a free copy, even though I bought one day one, you jackasses. It really pisses me off. You just get burned when you buy stuff day one. You get nothing. Yep. They should do like the ambassador thing, like the 3DS did. Reward your initial fans who bought the system. Give them something. Nope, nothing.
Nope, none for you.
Xbox news as well. They've announced their games for gold for March. Trials of the Blood Dragon. Super hot. Those are both Xbox One. And then 360 is Brave and Quantum Conundrum. And those are both backwards compatible for the Xbox One.
Huh, fair enough.
What is Trials of the Blood Dragon?
Sounds...
Oh, that's the Trials, like, bike...
yeah.
Motorbike.
And currently Shadow Warrior is still part of that, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Super Hot.
Super Hot's a dope game. So that's a good get.
I will totally download Super Hot. That's dope.
Is your live account active?
Heck yeah.
Mine's active for a couple more months and then I'll have to renew it.
I keep it active just for the free games.
What else? That's it for Xbox. The PlayStation Plus games were not announced in time. I assume they will be announced last minute next week.
Probably a good... You're probably right.
I have no public service announcements.
Yeah, no. Doesn't look like they've showed off that stuff yet.
Checked. So with that...
PlayStation 4, 5 years old already.
Well, it was revealed 5 years ago today.
Yeah.
So that was that. I don't think that was the actual event. It was we're going to have an event and the PlayStation 4 is coming.
Right.
Or is it because
they shared a name that would change our lives?
Because I feel like that event was a month or two later, but before E3. So PlayStation 4 will be 5 years this November.
Right.
As will Xbox One.
That's crazy.
And they're on track to outsell is it PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1, which is the best-selling one?
PS2 has sold the most.
So yeah, they're on track to beat the PS2, which is pretty freaking impressive. When, before this generation came out, everyone was kind of like, consoles are dead. Mobile games are taking over. PC is the way to go. Well, yeah, which is kind of true, but no, consoles are doing damn fine.
They doing all right.
Yeah. So I guess we can get into our free for all section.
Yeah.
I saw Black Panther.
You're an asshole.
You did not, which kind of ruins my ability to talk about it.
I know. I wanted to, and it just didn't really work out, unfortunately, with the way that our weekend was set up.
And I don't really want to say too much because I don't want to color your impressions too much.
I've heard it's awesome.
It's pretty good.
People at work that I know have seen it 2, and one guy's even seen it 3 times already.
What? Okay. Yeah. It's good. I don't know if it's that good.
So, yeah.
There's some pretty cool stuff in it. It is... I really like a lot of the visual, the world they've created, like Wakanda, the African style and take on like a technologically advanced society. Right. The powerful women characters in this movie are like handled like with total class.
That's wicked.
Almost to the point that quite a few of them are like show stealing.
That's awesome.
To be honest, I think T'Challa or Black Panther is like my least favorite character in the whole movie. Even though the movie's about him, I feel like he has
outshone by so many.
Yeah,
other people.
he just doesn't have the same presence as like the guy Michael B. Jordan. Is that it? I think who plays Killmonger, who's essentially the main villain in this movie.
Right.
He's awesome. and the two female leads who play. One of them is the head of like the royal kind of like guard. It's basically the actress who plays Michonne on Walking Dead.
Huh. Okay.
She's phenomenal. And the other girl who's she's like a spy. I can't remember her name. Their names are so crazy. They don't exactly stick in your brain. She was awesome. Same with T'Challa's sister. Is it T'Challa? That's it, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, T'Challa.
Anyway, his sister is really cool. She's kind of like the Q to Bond, making the Tony Stark to the Wakandans. She's like the science and technology like head, and she's the one who like devises all these cool gadgets and technology that their society has and weapons and so forth.
Oh, nice.
So she's really cool. The
awesome.
The soundtrack's great. The music's awesome.
I've heard the soundtrack is great.
It's a visually stunning movie. It's a great movie. But it's not like the be all end all. Like I will be honest, and it's not popular opinion, but I do think it's a little overhyped. But it only makes sense because, like, how often do you get a movie like this? Like, this is with an all black cast, powerful actors, powerful women. It doesn't, there's a lot more than just a movie going on here. So I think that's where it gets a lot of its extra praise from, which I don't disagree with, but
yeah, I think it's an important film.
It kind of adds to the hype a little bit, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Not so much that it overshadows the movie, but anyway, I really liked it. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I really want to see it bad. Like, it looks awesome.
It's got some funny bits to it. It's not as funny as most of it ain't no Guardians or Thor. There is some humorous moments, but it is definitely also a little more serious. It does pick up, if you haven't seen Civil War, I would maybe recommend seeing Civil War, because it does pick up basically right after Civil War and the events of that, and it kind of has some impact on the mood of Black Panther's character and what he's going through during this movie.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who obviously saw that, I feel like with the stuff that does happen in that is pretty important too. If this happens after that movie, then there's some pretty huge things that happen in that film that would definitely impact everything.
Yeah. It essentially immediately takes place right after Civil War.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, that's on my list. I really, really want to see it this weekend. So
yeah, good flick. I will see it again. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters again, though.
Fair enough.
You, on the other hand...
Oh, yeah, buddy.
You're not even playing the fighting game, so it's just kind of funny that you dove into this.
Okay, so growing up, I was super into this. And what we're talking about is Dragon Ball Z. I watched the original Dragon Ball, and then I watched Dragon Ball Z, and I watched quite a bit of when it was on TV here when I was a kid. I probably watched I would have watched up till just after the Cell Saga, and then I kind of fell off just due to the way that it got broadcast in Canada, and that was right around the time where the internet was becoming a thing, but it wasn't a thing that you could use to watch movies and such yet, and TV shows and things like that. And the original Dragon Ball Z there's a lot of episodes where characters are powering up and where there's just, it's not to say that nothing is happening, but nothing is happening in those episodes. like there is internet memes for a reason about characters spending way too much time just talking about powering up and then talking about it some more. And like, there is genuinely episodes in Dragon Ball Z where essentially nothing happens. So what they did is, I would think about a year ago, they started re-releasing Dragon Ball Z in a much more streamlined version of the show. So essentially what they did is they cut out a ton of the fluff and a ton of the powering up and a ton of the stuff that kind of wasn't needed. Because when they started creating the anime, they caught up to the manga. And so what ended up happening is they kind of ended up putting in these filler episodes and adding a whole bunch of filler to the TV episodes, because the manga was being written at a slower pace than the anime was being produced. So in the end, the anime actually isn't all that close to the manga just because of this. So what they kind of did is they went back and they cut out a ton of that stuff, and they more or less went back and made it a lot more true to the manga, and they re-released it all, and they've called it Dragon Ball Z Kai. And I've kind of heard about this for a while, and I was kind of curious about it. And now that everybody else has been playing Dragon Ball Z, like Dragon Ball Fighters, it kind of inspired me to go back, find Dragon Ball Z Kai, and take a quick peek. So I was able to watch, as a refresher, I watched the first couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and then I watched the first couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it's pretty impressive how much stuff they've actually cut out and streamlined that show. I think I watched 4 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and in those 4 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, I think I managed to get up to that same point by the time I finished the second episode of Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Is it the same show, just edited?
It is. It's the exact same show, but it's just edited way down.
Okay, so they haven't redrawn, or there's no different new animation or anything.
So they cleaned up the animation and they tried to remaster it in a higher definition. Unfortunately, some frames were due to the fact that this show originally came out in 96, 97. So we're talking 20 years ago. Some of that footage was not in great shape. So some of those, there is some frames that they have redrawn for this show, but ultimately it's an upscaling and a remaster and a re-edit. And it is way more streamlined. I believe the original show is well over 300 episodes, and Dragon Ball Z Kai, I believe, is less than 200, and yet it manages to get the same amount of content out there.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's good. I mean, I think, as somebody who watched the original, this is awesome for me to go back now and watch it, just because it does cut out so much of that fluff.
Yeah, because my brother-in-law, Trevor, him and his buddies all watched it back in the day, and he's like, I would tell you to watch Dragon Ball, but there's way too much Dragon Ball to watch.
Totally.
So it's it's one of those things that's always, it's one of those things that's always been there, and I've been like, oh man, I just don't get the memes. I don't get the references. I know it's super popular. I see it everywhere, and it's just one of those boats that I missed, but this might seem like it might be doable to go back.
Honestly, they're only 22 minutes each, right? These episodes now that you're watching them without commercials and stuff like that. So it's and now that I'm watching Dragon Ball Z Kai versus Dragon Ball Z itself, like I said, what I've managed now to finish, I've finished the first arc already in that story, which is called the Saiyan Saga. And I mean, that was a full, I want to say 2 seasons.
Jesus.
In the original show. And I think I've finished essentially, what am I at? Episode 24. So that kind of gives you an idea. It streamlines it so much, but not to, I don't want anybody to think that it streamlines it too much, because I don't think it does. You still you're getting the gist of like everything. It's just that if anything, it tells you how much fluff is there of just them powering up and like because like the Cell Saga, when I watched it as a kid, I had a friend of mine who he got cable, and so he was recording these episodes for me, and then I sat down one day after he gave it to me on a recorded VHS tape. Now I feel real old. And me and my best friend, I think we sat there and we watched almost 7 hours of Dragon Ball Z to get us through, and we more or less watched the entire Cell Saga in one sitting. And that was a lot. It was like 6 or 7 hours of Dragon Ball Z. And now that's probably been cut significantly in Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Yeah.
And it's for the better. Like it honestly is. Like there's just it's a really good way to watch the show, especially if you're new to it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to find this. I've been playing the game, and the game is phenomenal. So it's like, I really should check out the source material.
It'll definitely put a lot more stuff into perspective for you. So yeah.
I got some.
That's strangely what I've been into. I don't know why. I know why. Like I said, everybody's been playing Dragon Ball Fighters, and I just was like, I could watch some Dragon Ball Z again. So
I got some breaking news.
All right.
As we're recording this, Super Mario Odyssey Balloon World is out now. So that new mode that they talked about in the Nintendo Direct back in January.
Right.
So if you've beaten the game, it's like Luigi's balloon mode and new outfits. That's free DLC. Apparently there's an update to Mario Odyssey, and it's available now.
Wow.
Man, look at that.
There you go.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh, yeah. Give that a shot.
Dane.
Yo.
I think we have a show.
Hey, podcast 2.0.
Yeah, episode
144.2.
Version 2.0, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, RICF, no K.
You can always come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
I always mess that up when I say it. I was like, at RickF, no K, RICF. But then I say it like all messed up sometimes when I think about it. Anyways, moving along.
Fair enough.
Follow us on Twitter at Geekoholics. Like us on YouTube or subscribe to us on youtube.com/Geekoholics. Like us on Facebook.com/Geekoholics. And of course, you have most likely subscribed to this if you're listening to it. If you haven't, those of you tens of people out there that might be listening to this on YouTube, feel free to find us in your podcast playing app of choice and subscribe to us there, and then we'll be freshly delivered every week to your ear holes. We are also on Google Play, and I don't think we're on Spotify yet. That's like a manual review process, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be on there. Oh. And I forgot to check and see if my Google Home will play it properly, because you said it.
So
worked.
What you're saying is that we've been put out towards Spotify to be up into the Spotifys.
Yeah, hopefully
we
soon.
Just haven't.
It's not there yet. I searched, but
that's exciting.
Yeah,
we might be able to be on Spotify before the Giant Bomb guys.
yeah, it's part and parcel with our host. So, but it's like a manual review process. So I don't know. Maybe if they don't like my voice, they won't put us on Spotify. I don't know.
God damn it! I knew there was downsides to recording with you.
We are pod safe, though. We use our own intro music now, so that makes us more friendly to these strict platforms when it comes to using authorized music and whatnot.
Very cool.
Also streamlines the editing process a lot, where I don't have to go and find music and hack it up and so forth. Until next week, I'm going to say we are out.
Go play some Mario Odyssey.
Go watch Black Panther. Peace.